Hola chicos, I'm Christian and I'm moving to Spain. So, this time around I will just speak a little bit chill about, but or not, but no, actually I will just talk about where I'm gonna live in Madrid. And I don't know, I'm not sure yet. So it will more be like I was thinking about it for a while. So I have looked a lot of I can't speak at this time of night. Try again. I have looked at a lot of apartments lately, and I've not brought anything yet or nearly close to that at all. Nowhere near that point in the process yet. But I'm probably gonna move in with somebody else, as you probably know if you have seen my other videos. I say it a lot. So yeah, I'm going to move together with someone, and some of the people I have talked with are a bit strict about where they want to live, and some people are very open about it, and some in the middle. Some have a few rules of thumb they want to follow. However, myself, I have just a rule where I need to be in. Actually, it sounds kind of strange, but it makes sense later. But my exact rule actually, it needs to be in an hour and a quarter walking distance from my university and or my not my what the fuck, the center, straight up center, Sol. And by an hour and a quarter, well, that is actually because that is the exact time it takes me right now from this apartment here in Denmark to travel to my university. So my rule of thumb is just if I can walk the distance to my university in Madrid in the same time or less than what I use here in Denmark, then that will be my dream. Because in Denmark I take public transport, and I take free trains, to be honest, so I have to switch a lot, and it's very annoying. If I could walk in an hour and a quarter, I would rather do that. So that's just how my brain works. So that's my rule. So it's a very odd specific rule, but it makes sense because it's what I used to here, and I just want better, or at least the same. Or actually, it will be better because I rather want to walk. So I just want it better. I don't want it to be way better. So that's pretty much my only rule. Apart from that, I don't really care where I live. I have kind of a light rule about I don't want to live in Sol, which is the neighborhood in the exact center. So the whole neighborhood in the center, not so big again, it's just a small neighborhood. That is the center, the exact center. That is called Sol for some reason. If you don't know, so that's what I mean when I say Sol. And yeah, maybe it's very expensive to live there. Actually, not. The apartments are just shit. But there are lots of apartments, so it's actually kind of easiest to get a cheap apartment in Sol, because there are so many to choose from, and they are so small and shitty. So the exist cheap apartment is not that. But it's actually down to the point that I don't want to live in the center because I find it kind of annoying. It's like too busy and too much noise for me, and I'm not a person that get easily annoyed. I can do with some noise. I actually want to like wake up in the morning to the noise of people talking, partying, whatever they do in the streets. I would love that. So a fair bit of noise I would like. But living straight in the center in one of the biggest cities in Europe, that's probably not a good idea. That would probably be too much for me. I'm not used to that. I'm living in I will not call it a small city, but compared to Madrid it is, but living like a medium-sized city for a Danish city. So that means a small city for you probably. I live in a kind of small city, and I have not even lived in the center of this city. That will still be too much for me. And the apartments there are shit. But I've always lived like a couple hundred meters away from the center, which is a lot in this smaller facility, to be honest. So I've not lived in a busy area. I've always lived in a quiet area, so I'm not used to that. So I will not go straight to that, because I think there are so much nicer places to be in Madrid. And also, it's not just because of the noise, it's actually more. So this is the most important reason. This is what that really turns me off about the center. It's too touristy, and everything is at the center, which means, and now I'm mentioning totally different thing. Too touristy is one thing. I want some local life. A whole other thing is, if you are straight up in the center, where do you need to go? The center. What do we have there? They have supermarkets, so that works fine. The party, also there. So you never have to leave the center. Of course, I have to leave because I have to go to university, which is another part of Madrid. So I have to walk long to the university if I live in the center. So I will walk, but I'm just like, you don't have anywhere to go if you already live in the center. So you will not walk that much. If you live outside the center, then you will go to the center. And you think, yeah, that's what who want that. But that's what I want. I actually want to walk a bit. I want to not be where I wanna be all the time, because then I'm just there. Then I don't see the whole city. So I think if I live in a neighborhood in another place in the city, then I will see the city. I will see my local neighborhood. I will actually have a local neighborhood. If I live in the center, I will not have a local neighborhood. I will just have the center. But if I live in a local neighborhood away from the center, I will have my local neighborhood. I will have some stores there, maybe someone I like. I will have some restaurants, maybe someone I like. And then I will have the center, because of course I'm gonna travel to the center. Everybody does that, right? So I will have that. Maybe there's some stores there I like, restaurants I like. So I will have like double the amount of things, and actually more than that, because when I walk from my local neighborhood to the center, I will also walk past other neighborhood and just walk on a lot of different streets. So there can also be some things going on there. So actually it will be like around 5 times the amount of businesses I will see, entertainment of whatever things. I will see 5 times the amount of things I could use for myself. So that makes me think that it's way better. And then that maybe the biggest point is just that you get some local neighborhood culture, which is probably way nicer than just knowing the touristy parts of Sol. So that's my plan, to not live in Sol, and apart from that, just live within an hour and a quarter of both the university and Sol. I cannot be further away from any of those, but I can be up to 1 hour and a quarter hour from both of them, or just one of them and then closer to the other. I don't care, as long as this is fulfilled, I will be happy. And I actually almost don't want to live any closer, because again, I can walk that distance, and I will walk that distance if I have to. So if I live closer, I will just straight up walk this, and I actually want to walk a lot. I'm very into my step counter, and I like it to go up. So, and also I really like to walk, and I like to travel a bit of distance to go somewhere, so I can enjoy the better and quietness of me just walking in, not silence, but without talking to anybody. Sometimes it be nice. I like that, and I want that part in my life too. So to go into more details, I have looked at some neighborhoods. I know some neighborhoods because I have seen apartments in these neighborhoods, and I have looked a lot on Google Maps, so I see the names and so on. And I know Chambéry, which is pretty much just straight above Sol, but in the like west, in the west area. north of Sol. Oh, and then we have a lot of other ones I don't remember where it is. Oh, Tetuan is like, I think it's the northest neighborhood inside the M30 highway. If you haven't seen other videos about how Madrid is designed, it's pretty much designed like this. You have the M30 highway, so you have a highway going in straight up a circle. Not a circle, but a oval one, elliptical circle, whatever. You don't care about the shape probably. But full circle, it's going full circle around the city. And inside that circle, we are having, not totally in the bottom, but in the last third part, a third of that circle, we have Sol in the middle of that. And then we have the 2/3 on top of that is mainly the northern part. So the northern part are bigger than the south. There's more north of Sol than there's south. But all these neighborhoods are like big and busy and touristy in some way or another, and kind of expensive in Spain. Consider Spain, compared to other things in Spain, and compared to the rest of Madrid, because outside the M30 there is the M40, and of course some space in between. So the space in between the M30 and M40, that's also mostly living areas, and of course there's stores and stuff too. So that's a bit cheaper, and this touristy, I will actually say it's not touristy at all. I think, I'm not sure about anything because I've not been there. So, but that was a thing that my initial like what do you call it, like, of what I have heard about it. But then outside that, again, we actually have the M50 highway and some space in between again. And then that becomes way cheaper to live. Also long way from the center. Also you have to get through highways, which you cannot do everywhere. And public transport becomes a bit more shit out there because it's center around it. But also fine. Actually, a lot of public transport in the outside of Madrid too. But of course in the center of Madrid there are so much public transport that is totally crazy. So I thought about Chambéry and Tetuan a little bit. Tetuan are pretty close to my university, but this is a long way from the center. If you are in the south of Tetuan, you can make it in 1 hour and a quarter, but if you are in the north of Tetuan, then it will be like 1.5, 1:45 or something. And then there are Salamanca, which are kind of in the east, somewhere in between Sol and Tetuan, I'm not sure, but I think it was over there. And I don't remember the rest now, but a lot of areas north of Sol, and that's pretty much where I wanna live, north of Sol, because my university is north of Sol. So if I live south of Sol, then I'm already too long away from the university, so that will not be okay. So I have to live north of Sol, and I don't want to live too north. I could live some north that will be close to my university, and that would be very convenient because I have to go there 5 days a week. But then I maybe don't want to go to the center because it's too long, and then I don't have energy to that, and then I will be less in the center, so maybe it will not be a good idea to do that. I rather want to have long to the university, because then I have my usually walk every day, 2 times a day. That's fine, lots of steps. And then in the evening I can just do things fast, go anywhere like real fast. I will not get late to parties and stuff, and I can just walk without think about, do I have energy enough, without taking without discussing with myself whether I'm gonna do it or not, but I can just do it. No. So that could be pretty nice. Now this has been a very general video, so I will keep it to that, and this just be my general thoughts about how we move to Spain, how Spain is, or how Madrid is geographically, and one of my thoughts is about where I want to live. And I will probably continue this in more detail in another video to get straight into what I have looked at apartments and so on. So if you like this video, then like it and subscribe for more videos like this, and to follow my journey to moving to Madrid. But that makes no sense. My cannot even. Don't. I try to say I can't speak, but then I couldn't say the phrase I want to say to tell you that I can't speak. My grammatic. What the fuck? Everything sounds wrong right now. My grammatic sucks right now. It's what I'm trying to say. So I try to explain the usual, but I explain it in such a strange way. But yeah, subscribe anyway because I sound. Subscribe if you wanna see me fuck up anymore. Subscribe if you wanna see someone that can speak English. Subscribe if you wanna see me actually speak better English than another video because it can't get any worse. It can only get better. But I also subscribe to see some vlogs in Spain and to see my whole life in Spain when I actually arrived there and so on. Yeah, subscribe, whatever, I don't care. Fuck it. Guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.